Well, well, well. Hello, hello, hello. Fury Machine is in a super duper mood today. First of all, I've been super busy, and I finally found my all-time favorite mod for Farming Simulator 22. It was out in 19, it was out in 17, it was out in 15, and I'm going to turn around slowly and show it to you. There she is in all of her glory. This is the Brooks Big Daddy Un, and I got this directly from the mod author. Dun dun dun. This will cut down the tree and the stump, and it will cut all of the trees on this map. Let me give you a quick demonstration, and I gotta show you what I've been building, because we gotta plow. So how's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing fantastic as usual. Even better now that I have my Brooks. Now, the difference between this and the 17 version, on the 17 version, the Stump Cutter was in here. Now the Stump Cutter's underneath. As I see it right there. See it. So what you got to do is you got to come in. You got to, whoops, lower that down, turn it on. First thing it's going to do, it's going to cut the tree, take your chips. Then you got to raise it up, and it eats the stump. Bada bing, bada boom. No more logging, no more nothing. I also made some changes down at the factories. I'll show you what I got going on. We'll do 2 of these. Whoops. And you just got to raise it up. So what I try to do, this is my thing. Oh, and it also keeps track of the trees that you chip up. See? Trees cut down, 2. So now I can spend a whole day just chopping up trees and getting rid of them, and we can start moving along. So what I usually do is I go 1, and then I go like 4 or 5, and then I raise it up. Okay? And it goes really quick. So now we're going to turn that off. We're going to go like this, because I'm going to leave this bad boy hooked right up. And this will dump in. So this is going to replace the Trex. This is also a realistic machine, except for the 3 million that it holds. But the actual Stump Cutter and everything, that's realistic. All right, so let's go back over, and I'm going to give you a tour of what Fury's been building. As you can see off in the distance, look at this. Look at, we started on our border. I'll give you a tour this way. Whoop. My fence. As you can see, I've been plowing. But now we don't have to cut trees. So, as you notice up in the right-hand corner, I sold all the equipment back that we didn't need, and we're down to just one forestry machine, and that's this one right here. We can store it when I got rid of the pallet factory, and I added another plank factory right next to the furniture factory. So all we got to do is go zing, zing, zing. One pallet factory, or one pallet plank factory, shall we say? Let me get it right. One plank factory can go right into the furniture. The other one can be sold, so we can still make some money. So we don't need logs anymore. We've got a little bit of ones to sell off yet before, and that's it. So as you can see, I built a fence, and I left this part open. So this is how we're going to get into it. Instead of making this whole thing grass, we're going to make this grass, and we're going to make this a field, starting to. Okay? Because if you look, I've got 12.59 acres plowed in just right there, and I still got to do a whole bunch more. So it's probably going to be about a 25-acre field, which is plenty. But remember what I said I was going to do with the border? Oh, and I changed tractors too. I had to upgrade to the Fendt 500, or the Fendt Vario 1000. Sorry, not 500, because we needed 500 horsepower, because the plow was taking too much. So I upgraded and I changed the color of that. But look now, watch this. Let me get down here. Look, now, I told you, when you're driving through here, you won't even be able to see where we're going with this. See, you can't even see the border. And it just looks like it's part of the forest. Then I went ahead and I kept going with the fence here. Around the fields. Gave us wide enough space so we could bring equipment down through here. See? Can't even see it. Then I came down through here with the fence. Then I came down through here. Made sure it was wide enough, and I drove down here with the big equipment. So I know, even though this is a little skinnier, I didn't want to take too much away from our field. Okay, so then what my plan is, I'm going to come right around here with the fence, and I'm going to make an entranceway right here to come out right straight ahead, so we can come right out into the field and start. So we don't have to drive all the way around the other side and start. And then this will all be fenced in. This will all be like a row here. Road. No, maybe I'll keep it this way. Yeah, that part I'll decide. I worked quite a bit off camera. As you can see, let me show you. I always show you 10 hours and 7 minutes, but we're on day 9 right now. What I've also decided to do is, I can't even get out here now because I just built a fence around this. What I also decided to do is, once we get our fields in and we get everything all plowed in, we don't need the excess time anymore. Probably on year 2. I'm going to then go to 1x speed and go 1 day months is what I'm going to do. It would be the same as playing 10-day seasons. So, except for, because right now what I'm having a problem with is the fermenting silos and stuff aren't making enough right now for me to get ahead. I can't mow anymore. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plow, and try to get this plowed in today so that we have at least our first field plowed in. And then what I'm going to do is try to work as much as I can off camera building, continuing on. As you can see, what I'm going to do is continue on all the way down the border. So if you look, when you're down here working, you can't even see that out there anymore. It looks great. It actually came out really good. Should I add this? Yeah, let me go down here and come in right in here, because it's going to be grass anyways. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that because it's going to be grass. And then we'll just keep going like this. I'm super excited. It is Wednesday night at 11:17. As soon as I'm done recording, I will be heading over to Farmer Z's live stream. Every Wednesday night, 9:30 Pacific and 9:45 Pacific, 12:45 Eastern. Yeah, because he lives over in Arizona and I live in New York, so I got to go on at 12:45 in the morning. Which is good because it still gives me a chance to record. Thank you for all of the wonderful, kind. Let me get my cruise control set. Wonderful, kind words about how nice the farm's coming out and how nice it's looking. We are actually moving right along. I'm really shocked. It is nice. It's like a curse and a nice thing that happens at the same time when your days go so fast. It's nice to be able to sit down and, whip off an hour and you're through a whole day. Disadvantage is when you look at, like, the cows. Remember, I put 25,000 water in there 3 days ago. And it's only used 400 liters of water in 3 days. So, it doesn't give you a lot to do as far as animals go. Now, it may change once we get more and more animals. And when I go here, the other thing I want to check real quick. Let me see how well I can jump and jump. I want to make sure that we are 100% health. Yes. Okay. So, Ranger, you are 100% right. You need the manure extension. Hey. Get in there. Come on. Psst, 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 psst. Get in there. Psst. Get through the fence. Squeeze your fat butt through the fence. Come on. Psst, 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 psst. That's crazy. What a nice pen, though. I got this off the in-game mod hub. It's called My Cow Pen. And then I'm going to put a row of grass underneath these fence posts so it represents realistic. But isn't it starting to come along really nicely? But once I found this Brooks, and I actually got it from, it's the Brooks owned by Big Daddy, and it's actually that's the mod author, Big Daddy. And I'm telling you, when I saw this, I jumped at it, and I thought, nope, no more Treks, no more nothing. Those are even gone out of my game now. I got rid of all the auto-load stuff because we don't need it now. Because now we can log, but we can log quickly. We don't have to wait and wait and wait. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is maybe put my entrance over here. Like, cut this back a little bit. Make this so it's a little bit wider so you come right out here with your mowers and stuff. And maybe break it up like somewhere over here. Maybe. Those are the things that pop into my head as I'm driving around and I go, oh, that's what I want to do. I also upped the speed of this to 9 miles an hour. Just because I wanted to, I thought, well, 517 horsepower. Like, you don't realize and you can't comprehend how much 517 horsepower tractor is until you actually drive one. And I've driven one, and these fence in real life are huge. Absolutely ginormous. I also I'm going to be changing. Man, it's like this. It's the cool thing about running a series for any length of time is all of the changes that go through your head. Literally. I'm going to change out Stevie's things with fermenting silo off the in-game mod hub that takes hay grass hay or grass. So what we do is, the smart thing is, you mow in the front. I got a 10-meter mower. You mow in the front and you ted in the back. And then you come through with your loading wagon and you pick up your hay, put one in the silo, and then you don't have to make hay. You don't have to hay dry it or anything like that. You put one in your silo, and then the other one, you put the other load of hay right in the fermenting silo. It holds 500,000 instead of 100,000, and it will make 120,000 a day in silage. So that's what we're going to do. But as you can see now, this is going to it's taken the better part of 2 full days now to plow. But that's not true either, because look how far I went with those trees. I also had to download the mod that allows you to put extra trees on a map, because we were at the limit, and the limit for trees on a map is 4,200. Or no, I don't know, it's some astronomical number. So you see those maps that have like 50,000 trees and things. They got it embedded into the map. But this Brooks is going to make life really, really simple. It holds 3 million, but then it's already on a tractor. So what we can do then is just run it right down, dump it right into the plank factory, and bada bing, and Bob's your uncle, and then we continue to make planks. I also noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, the plank factory that I did, I'm going to show you guys real quick here. Let me head down to the shop. Look at, now that plank factory, remember how it was doing the little ones? Now look at, it automatically switched over to doing these big ones that are 3,500 a piece. How cool is, like, the same, look at, and then here we got another one here from our logs. So we got 3. These are 3,500 a piece. And what I thought about doing is the little ones I'll put in the machine, and these big ones we could sell. Look at 35, 35, 35. That's like 12 grand. I also put another pallet factory right close. This is the one that's going to feed the furniture factory. Right here. We're going to sell those ones over there. This one here is going to feed right from here right into there. So it's literally what we can do is come and push it right off and push it right in, and it's done. I'll put a snowplow on the front. We'll push the pallets this way, and then we'll push them right in here. Boom, 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 boom. Go back to plowing. Trying to get this done today. And it's just, we're making strides, and it's going to happen quickly now. So I had the 8400 loading wagon with the big extender arms on it, but it's not realistic. And you guys know how I feel about that. I don't care. There's only a couple of mods that I absolutely turn my head on, and one of them is this Brux. The other one is my Trex, and then the auto load. Otherwise, I use it. I have to use like realistic. Can't call yourself a realistic farming channel and have not very realistic equipment. So I researched it, and that 8400 is not at all realistic. There's no loading wagon known to man that has what do you call it, windrowing on top of it. So I also have to build somewhere on our farm a place for the, no I don't, put it down with the factories, a stone crusher that makes lime. So I can put the stones in it, make some lime in the coconuts, and then we could bring the lime back up, store it in our silo. The only thing I like about Stevie's, the fermenting silo, is it's like a mini BGA. It makes digestate, which I can use to fertilize my fields. But I need to make more because, like I told you guys yesterday, we have to catch up now and get ahead, because when we have minimum of 500 cows, I'm going to shoot for 1,000. When we have 500 to 1,000 cows, it's going to take 500,000 or 600,000 a day to do it. So we want to make sure that we get stocked up now. I want to have like 4 or 5 million stocked up so that we're ready to go. And like I said, I decided the back half of that will be a field. We'll have 2 fields up here. We'll have a grass one and then a regular one. And when we go down, we'll make another, because this is going to be, what are we on so far? 16.66 acres right now. And I'm guessing when we're done, might even be closer to 30. And I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping it's pretty close to 30. And I'm hoping that by me plowing in a new field and creating a new field, that it gets rid of that collision. I found out by one of the family members told me that what happened is this map was originally built over another map. They just basically started a map over top of another one, and they never removed the collisions on it. So what happens is the grass, when you mow it, it clumps up in certain areas, and it's usually right around in here. It's like a line you'll see, and it's because the map underneath this has a collision to it. He built over it. I don't know if they removed it or what, but you would have they would have been able to, would have had to delete it, because they would have had to put these mountains in here, right, and all that stuff, unless this is made from another, I don't know. The only thing I did to the map was allowed, when it didn't allow me to put placeables down, and that might have been very much, the collisions. I also helped a family member today. He was anxious to learn how to edit some of his equipment. So at first I was like, okay, It was a little tricky. I don't want them to, because if you don't do it right, it's not hard. It's not hard by any means to edit equipment and make it so it's realistic usage and all that stuff. If you don't do it correctly, though, and you put the wrong thing in, it messes the game up. I mean, trust me when I tell you, it messes the game up. I've had it crash my whole game and corrupt save files and the whole 9 yards. I've had it happen. How did it happen? And so I went ahead and I said, well, send me the links of the stuff that you want fixed, and I'll just go ahead and fix it, and I'll send them back. Well, little did I know, I had them all fixed. I had them all done for them. Little did I know that Steam won't let you send files back, even if you zip them back up. It just won't let you do it. It'll let you send the original links, but it won't let you send the zipped up files, because I tried. So I gave him a big, ooh. That was my fault. I forgot fences are around these things. You see that? Look at all those trees we got to cut, and all these trees. And it's great. So I gave him some directions, and I haven't heard back from him, so I'm assuming it worked well. I tried to go as standard as I can. I've got to make a video for you guys on how to do it, how to change the XMLs and stuff. It's really, once you've done it once, it's very, very simple. The problem that you have to run into is technically a mod does not have to be zipped up to play in Farm Sim. It can be left in an open folder, and Farm Sim will recognize it. Okay, so technically it doesn't, but if you want to use that in multiplayer or send it to another person, it has to be zipped up, and that's where it gets tricky. Oh, watch this. This is why I have it like nobody does. And we go like this, and we go pipe out, and we turn it on, and we go right over this. Watch this. Done. Love my machine. Hence why my name is Fury Machine. No. So other than that, I mean, once you do it the first 2 or 3 times, it took me about 4 or 5 times to learn how to do it. Once I did it the first time, and the second time, and the third time, and got comfortable with it, you start to know what to look for. It's pretty simple. And then you can pretty much edit any mod that you want. You can pretty much change any mod that you want. The only thing that I tell everybody is try not to monkey too much with capacities. You can go up a little bit, because then it starts to monkey with the weight. Like, for example, the first trailer I ever edited, it was my favorite trailer that you guys know that I use on pretty much, oops, wrong one. I used it, and it's the same one as in 20, or same one in 19 that held 21,000. It came from like the in-game mod hub. Well, I thought, well, I'm just gonna edit that to 1 million, and I'm gonna be cool about it. I'm gonna be really cool and do this. Look, I'll never have to worry about quantities again. Got it all done, what I thought was all done, loaded up the game, and it sunk half the trailer into the ground because of the weight. When you start monkeying with, if you start monkeying around with things that you don't know how it works, my suggestion is not to do it, because you can and will mess up things. But once you do it, and once you get the down pat, and you got it all set, and you know what you're doing, hey, I say edit away, because there's a lot of things that people, when they make mods, they don't like, and I'm mainly talking to the people who are family members here who generally watch the realistic stuff and want to learn about real farming. I mean, Winston, he's a great modder. He does some great work. But I'll tell you, some super unrealistic, like, I saw one of his mods today where he had this, like, he had the Krone Big M 500, and He made it with a cat skin on it, and it looks fantastic. I'm not going to lie. It looked great. But nobody on the planet mows at 40 miles an hour. I mean, not everybody is DJ Goham where they want to run around here with 55 implements and, 100 million foot collecting wagons and things. Some people do. But primarily the people on this channel, you guys, the family members, you guys are generally speaking want the realistic stuff. So I was telling this family member today what to edit it at to make it realistically. Generally speaking, there's two things when it comes that you can edit when it comes to realistic usage. When you get down, there's a line in the XML that says spray width, for example, or usage, and then it'll say usage, and then it'll say spray width. The spray width is the width of the implement. So, like, for example, I'm using this 14.7 meter culti plow, as they call it, I guess. You can cultivate with it and plow. It's actually just a disc plow. So I'm using it. So the first line would say width, and it would say 14.7. It's going to, like, for example, if I'm using a slurry spreader, it's going to spray 14.7 cubed. So it's going to spray 14, 14, and 14. So it's going to spray 42 meters worth every second. That's why you guys are coming through and you're always saying to me, Fury, I don't understand why the slurry is going crazy or the manure is going crazy. Because in real life, that doesn't work. Now, in real life, slurry and manure do go quick, but not that quick. Like, if you've ever watched 10th Generation Farmer, or if you've ever watched How Farms Work has a super tiny manure spreader, and yet they're harvesting 60, 70 acre fields with that. So you're not going to go 10 miles, 12 miles up the road and spray it and get less than one row out of it, and have to turn around, drive 10 miles back. You would never get anything done at that point. So I always tell people the problem, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why Farm Sim calls themselves a simulator, and more, every iteration that comes out, we're finding more and more realistic players that want to play real farming and want to learn how real farming works. Just like you guys. And you guys ask me all the time. Bill is notorious for it. He asks me all the time, hey, Fury, what's this and what's this? And I love answering them. I love teaching. So why would you come out with a manure spreader that uses 25 feet cubed? So you're using 75 liters every single second. It's like, so you're like, so, I just don't get it. I don't get it. So I always edit mine. Now on this map, I don't have any edited. So we're going to try an in-game one, and if I get frustrated with it, Fury will be the first one to edit it. You know me, I'll fix it. But yet they make the lime spreader realistic in the sense of, if you put the spreading discs on it, I can spray, like, if I fill that whole lime spreader up, I can spray pretty much this whole field with one tank full. But if I try to fill it up with slurry or digestate, it's gone. So I've come to the conclusion that what happens is a regular slurry tank like this just sprays it out the back. This one, and all of these use it absolutely insane amounts. What you want to do is you want to get to these, the ones with the applicator. They call them injectors. And what this does is these are little plastic hoses that run along the ground. They're literally just plastic extensions. And they literally just, they control the spray rate more. Okay? I'm just talking farm sim alone. I'm not talking in real life. Because in real life, these are garbage. But these in-game will use you a lot less. They'll still use a lot. And then you go to this one that's absolutely ginormous. Okay? And then if you go even farther up, you got ones that, like this one here. Look at this is 36 meters wide. Now let me point out something. 36 meters wide. It's going to use 36 times 36 times 36. So this is going to use what? 72, 108, 109 every single second. Now, what they did do, though, is they went and they put, it goes on this one. This holds, 13.1 tons. I don't know how many liters that is, but they justify it because it holds more. See what I mean? So they want you to, but if you were like, I don't know how many people have messaged me and they've talked to me and they're like, Fury, I had, 100,000, 200,000 liters of manure and I can't even do one field with that. It just goes too fast. So it's catch-22. But in the same token, your fertilizer spreaders, though, will go 42 meters, and I could take a little one that fits on the back of my tractor and do this whole field with it with one go. So they just didn't do it right. I'm going to leave this down. Try to not have to pull it up as much. Not very realistic. Well, I guess it could be. As long as you don't kink that pin over there. Now these saddle pullers are better. See, this machine goes on a saddle pull. That's what we call those. And it gives you a lot more freedom because it's actually pulling the actual weight of the tractor's pulling it. The cowbell ones, we used to call them, the ones that just hook to the back of the tractor, you don't have to have as much horsepower to pull them. This one here realistically would take 400 or 500 horsepower to pull it. You would see these pulled with tractors in real life. I'm just not a big fan of them. Now, if I ever drove one, which I never have driven one of those tracked ones in real life, but I've driven a Fendt Vario 1000. I actually have pictures of me driving it. These are massive, massive, massive tractors. Put it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to get up inside of that. I'll try to remember to post a picture of these real-life machines that we're using so you guys can get an idea of how massive they are. Absolutely massive. It's like I was telling my son, where did we go the other day? We were looking for, when we had to buy the new microwave. Oh, yeah, we were all over the place. We were all over town looking for the best microwave out there. And there was a tractor that went up the street from us. And my son looked at me and he said, he says, Dad, the one thing I noticed about Farm Sim is the scale is off. And I said, yeah, because look at 95% of the time you're playing out here or in here. Okay? Doesn't give you any concept of size whatsoever. But if I come in here like this, now you start to see like this is ground level. And according to the Farm Sim specs, the player height, they make you 6'6", which, okay, so I'm on ground level right now. That's how massive that tractor is. But because we all play like this, so we can see, it looks tiny. So I always tell everybody, if you want a sense of realism, play really far in or in cab. But there's some things that I monkey with and I change, and then there's some things that I don't, and I just leave it. And what I do is I adjust it in game by adjusting the cruise control. Because remember, guys and gals, you don't have to go in and edit speeds. There's a mod on the in-game mod hub called Working With working speed. And you can literally, when you buy your equipment, you can adjust the speed right there that it will go at. Okay? You guys see me I use it every Let's Play. So, there's that. Then you don't even have to download a mod. You just set your cruise at what a realistic speed would be. Okay? So, if normally, I'd be plowing this at 3 miles an hour. You just set your cruise at 3, and then it's the same as being realistic. When it comes to spray widths or spray usages and stuff, that's where it gets tricky. And I've had this discussion with Grizzly Bear too, Grizzly Bear Sims, who, by the way, is fine. I've had several people ask me how he's doing. He's just spending some time with the family right now and getting away. He's recharging his batteries is what he's doing. So it's not above him. He's done this before. He takes 2 or 3 weeks off, and then he comes back with a vengeance, all ready to rock and roll. So there's nothing going on with him. He's just, I've emailed him a couple of times, and he's emailed me back. So he's just spending some time with the family. And so we as a community, as awesome as we are, we respect that. We absolutely respect that. What are we at? See, 25. I told you we'd be close to 25. And we're going to be over that. I'm guessing we might even be closer to 26. That's a perfect little grass field to start. 26 acres. That's perfect. You can use the bigger equipment on it. You can get going on it pretty quick. I mean, not quick, but still 26 acres. And so figure that you guys always ask me, always. I get all these questions all the time about, well, how many acres can I plow in a day? And how many acres can I do legitimately in a realistic day? Well, realistically, you would average 1 acre an hour to plow. Okay? And that's with even a moldboard plow. You can still plow in an acre an hour. So if you work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, that's the best and easiest way to figure it out. So, for example, this is a 26 acre field. It would take me 26 hours to plow it. So, technically, if you work 14-hour days, that's just under 2 full days to plow it. Okay, now that's not counting stopping for lunches and going home and doing things. That's working basically from sun up till sundown. And hope you don't got any rain, and hope you don't got any issues with rocks and crazy amounts of stuff that happens every single time you break a tine. Things happen. Now cultivating, you can go a lot more, because you're really only cultivating thing does is, you see how these are called furrows. All the cultivator does is takes the same concept of this, but instead of this back here, it's just got a flat bar. So it's the same thing. And then all you're doing is knocking down these rows. See? You're just literally skipping over it. So to cultivate, you can realistically go 10 or 12 miles an hour. So you can go right along. So if you're pulling a 15-meter cultivator, providing you have enough horsepower, that's the key, you could probably do 5 or 6 acres an hour. So to cultivate this field, this 26 acre field, would only be 1 day, 1 full day to cultivate it. It depends also how much you want to go over it. Some people go over it one way, and then they go over it another way, and then they go over it sometimes they go over it 2 or 3 times, because the smoother field that you have, the better. When you go to plant, it's just the way it works. Look at this. We are going to have our first field plowed, and it's our first grass field. Even though it was grass to begin with, and I could have very easily left it, I want to fertilize it. So, and then when it comes to harvesting's pretty close to the same as plowing. So a 26 acre field, because you figure, okay, my dad and I, we had a 60 acre bean field, okay? And it would take us legitimately, we only had a 4.5 meter header, and one of us running grain and the other one harvesting basically full time. It would take us 4 full days, and that was literally starting at as soon as the sun came up. You would get your animals fed, you would get them watered, you get everything taken care of, break their ice if it was winter time, and then you wouldn't harvest in the dead of winter. But you would literally get right out in the field as soon as the sun came up. If the sun came up at 6, you'd be out there at 6. And you would work till dark. Okay, so and it took us 4 full days to harvest our 60-acre field. Then it would take us, because we didn't plow, we did what was called a no-till. So we didn't deep plow. We only used a cultivator like this, but it was super small. It's only 3 or 4 meters wide. Where is my road? My road. So, and it would take us probably the better part of 3 days to cultivate it, to knock it down. If we had corn in it, we would have to realistically, look at that. Doesn't that look super awesome? Looks like you'd fall off the face of the earth here, wouldn't it? This little tractor would hold this pretty good, actually. So then it would take us 3 or 4 days to cultivate it, 2 or 3 days to spread manure on it. So all in all, it would be the better part of a solid month to get the field ready to go. Ready to plant, ready to rock and roll. And then you would plant at the end of that month. So it was about... My joystick came unplugged. It always does that. I tried to wrap a cord around it. And we had a 60 acre, a 40 acre, and another 40 acres. So you figure 3 full months of non-stop just work every single day, 14, 15 hours a day. That's why summertime, and that's not counting any mowing, that's not counting any anything in particular that you've got to do. Something happens with an animal, something happens, tire breaks down, something. You're always longer. So if summertime hits and you're starting to, now we're going to go down and we're going to grab ourselves our rock picker, start picking up rocks. See how we're doing here. 13,000 hay. It's going. It's making it. Now this had 120 in it, right? So it is using it. It's got 3,478 digestate already. That's sweet. And that's the other reason I decided to go with one. And the other thing is, now that I'm here with this, back in the field, let's drop this off here. Just for now. I don't want to drive around with my wood chipper on it. So legitimately, if you started in summer, let's say you started in May, April, end of April, beginning of May, you start literally mowing full time. Okay? So to mow some of our fields that we had would take a month, to get everything mowed, picked up, bales loaded in the barns. It would take the better part of a month. So now you're into June. Now your harvest comes ready, June or July. Now it's a month to harvest one field. So now you're into July. Now another field comes ready to go. Now you're into August. If the field comes ready, if your third field comes ready in August, now you're tricky because now you're trying to get that up before the frost hits. And sometimes up here in New York, we would get frost as early as September. As of the last couple of years, it isn't that way, but I'll tell you, there's times when it was. So now you're hustling to get that off because you don't want your moisture. You don't want your wheat or soybeans having a bunch of moisture in them. So then you're in September and you think, okay, I haven't spread any manure, I haven't plowed, I haven't cultivated. So the better part of September, October. Now in the Northeast here in the New York area, you get into October, November, the ground freezes. Now you can't do anything. So now you're stuck until the end of, probably beginning of March, when it starts to get like 40. Like right now here, we're getting 60s out every day. I have a mod for this, by the way. Not very realistic capacity. Yeah, let's go with the wider one. I don't see right here. This is a mod. See, who does it at 25 miles an hour? And then I don't care about the color. Capacity, 10K mass, 25. We're going to go up. Figure if we get 100K stones, that's a lot. So we're going to go 100K. Now this is a bigger one, a wider one than the in-game one. So then you can't do much of anything until March. Now March and April, like I said, we started in May. So March and April, you are literally, sorry as I hiccup, cultivating and fertilizing and getting everything ready to go so that you can seed. All that stuff has to be done. And then guess what? Now the end of April, beginning of May comes in and you're right back into harvesting your grass, and it's a never-ending cycle. And remember, everyone, that takes into consideration nothing happens. You get a day of rain. That's just with a perfect scenario. You get a day of rain. You get a day of, one of these tires breaking. And you got to go down to the local agway to get a new tire. You spend a half a day doing that. So now you haven't done any cultivating or anything. So it's just fun. It's fun. I love farming. I still love farming. I don't do it anymore, but I love it. So like I said, I mean, the more... I knew this... Getting back to the in-game here, I knew this was going to be weird, but if you look... Okay, let me turn this on the side. This would be absolutely drivable. The tractor. Not so much down here, because you would then risk the tire coming over. But up here, you would absolutely. So you would be driving mostly up here. It's a perfect place to split that field, too, isn't it? This thing is huge. And away we go. Now, I sent a video to Farmer Z on this, how really slow these rock pickers are in real life. But it's absolutely monotonous. I've never used one like this. I also have the in-game mod hub one, where it fixed on a front loader, but I'm not going to do that on this map. That was more for my Old Stream Farms. And I apologize, everyone, that Old Stream Farms has kind of gone by the wayside, and Calmston Farms has gone by the wayside. I see that Calmston just did an update, and I'm like, see? I was telling you guys last time, can you imagine if we were playing that map? We got everything all built, or 40, 50 episodes in, and they do an update on it, and it causes you to make a new save game. You're like, really? So, that's why I chose this map, and I think it was Wisconsin Farmer was the one telling me about the collisions on the map. He's a good dude. Tells me about the ins and outs of maps sometimes. And I told him that I could go in and fix it, but I'm not going to, because it's not game breaking. Now, if it clumped up the grass into this huge, giant pile, like you guys have all seen some of the maps, and it made a huge pile, then I would go through and fix it. But if it's just clumping it up and it's still allowing me to pick up that said clump, I don't care. It's not the end of the world. Not for me, anyways. It's not game breaking. And eventually, we're going to get onto a real map, and we're going to get onto a real farming map. But this gets to be my creative juices out of the way for a while. And the construction map that's on the in-game mod hub is pretty cool too. The problem that I have with it is you can't sell the buildings. You can't go in. You're stuck with the productions and stuff where they got them, and that I don't like that. I'd like to be able to move stuff around where I wanted to. And this is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, is a really natural field, because the key is, everyone with a farmer, we don't make fields square. We do. We have had them square, but generally speaking, you plow them in and you plow your field by, say there's a fence. Okay, we're going to plow along the fence. Like Dad would say, I want you to plow around the whole outside of the fence and then fill in the rest. That's exactly what he would say to me. So this is very common. This, to me, represents as close to barbed wire as you're going to get. Somebody's going to have to come up with a nice barbed wire fence mod. But other than that, it looks kind of cool. Be sure you guys head over and check out Farmer Z. Now, if you can't, because you guys will be watching this on Thursday, some of you may have missed it. Farmer Z will post an archive of it, so you can actually go over and see. I'm a moderator on his page, on his stream. So you'll see me interacting. You'll see me. A lot of people ask questions over there, too. How to really do stuff. So I answer. Get a couple of real good farmers in there that are really good really farmers in real life, too. It's kind of nice. So if you guys get a chance, go over and check him out. Support Mighty Mike Farms. He is a fantastic YouTuber, for real. Like, he's just absolutely amazing. He's been doing this series with his kids, and I think that's the greatest thing on the planet. I think that's awesome. I wish my kids enjoyed Farm Sim more than they do. I enjoy it, but they don't. They watch my videos. They watch them. A lot of them will be like, why are you telling the world that? So I just deal with it. Look at that. We are rocking and rolling and moving and grooving. If we get most of this field pretty much done. As you can see, though, now we're getting towards the middle, late end, second half of September. It's starting to get dark early. Like, it's not even 5 o'clock. And we're starting to and plus I have these trees here which block a lot of sun. So it really feels like it's late afternoon for you in the middle of autumn, middle of fall. Isn't that cool? That's why I use the ginormous ones here, and I put them really super close together. So it blocks it. This is what we talked about. We wanted to represent. That's why, to me, with the way that Farm Sim has gone and the ability to build and to create your own stuff. Listen, if a map comes out and it's got a weird border to it, build something like I did. You know, take your fences, put it in, and build a bunch of trees, or put a bunch of buildings there, so that, you know, like, and the worst thing is, look, if I was in cab, looking, not right there because you can still see, but if I was over there, you can't even see out. So it looks like you're driving along a forest. So you guys are all super creative. You know. Just do what you got to do. Borders on a maps. Sorry, as I clear my throat. Borders on maps are not the end of the world. Sell points anymore are not the end of the world either. With the amount of sell points, the amount of production, like if you got on a map and there's no production, like I get so frustrated with Farmer Klein sometimes because he scores these maps, and he's doing it uniform. He's doing it 100% right, so I cannot knock him because he's doing it right. He's keeping all of his tallies opinion free, and he's doing them all the same. So when he scores a map, it's the same way he scored the last map, and he's going to continue to score it that way. It's the fairest way to do it, is to be impartial. But sometimes he'll be like, oh, well, you can't sell wheat, you can't sell this, or you can't sell planks, so I got to take off a star, which is, hey, that's his scoring system, that's the way it works. But with the amount of sell points, you guys know, look, I'm on a map that has no sell points, no placeables, nothing. And I've already put 4 factories down there, and I've already got a sell point for everything. And we got technically 2 factories up here doing our silage. So if you like the map and you like the way, I always tell people, for me, what it is how I feel. If I feel real good on a map and I feel like the map feels right, then I'll play on it until it's blue in the face. Like in 19, I probably put 2,000 or 3,000 hours on county line because county line feels right. But this go around, I'm not playing county line because I'm not downloading the map that's 1.2 gigs. I'm not going to do it. That's too big. I've told you guys before, one of my pet peeves is the first and foremost thing that I see is I check out if the map has got a huge file to it. I don't play with it. I don't touch it. I don't. All right, so we are gonna, as soon as I get around, I'm gonna drive back up to our thing, and then off camera. As you guys can see, what I'm doing is I'm playing a day off and then a day on, a day off and then a day on. So what it's doing is it's giving me the opportunity. You guys don't have to see every waking moment of every single thing, but you get to see enough. So realistically, it would be, the reason I did that is because if we were playing at 1x speed for 1 day months, you guys would see 12 episodes with a running clock. So you're seeing 12 episodes now, just not all at once. There we go. Finish this. We got our 2 headlands. There should be enough to turn around. We got almost 1,500 rocks off that. All right, so we're going to leave the rock picker right here where it left off. Literally, it can sit in the field overnight. I don't think we have any rain coming. See, then we'll plow. We'll clear the trees back to about the even amount there, or all the way in. Maybe we'll just clear it all the way out. This will be like a big wheat field up here. So we'll have 2 fields, and remember, we can always turn that into grass too. But I just wanted to separate a little bit. So, like, if we said, okay, we got to mow this field, we'll mow this field, we'll pick it up, we'll do what we have to do. Then you go back and you mow the other field. I just didn't want to have to run in. Oh, got a lag spike there. Didn't want to run into the problem of having to, if we went all the way down, everyone, to the other side, that'd probably be about a 100-acre field, which you start to get that big, you guys all know, it takes forever. It took me 13 hours to do the one on Hastings. That was a 100-acre field just to harvest it. See? Came across with that. Now I'm going to bring my fences up here. And then I think what I'm going to do, though, is I like the fact of living up here in the woods, but I might leave this side or put in the big one so I can't see the edge and clear this so it's just grass. And then we can challenge ourselves and try to mow that. It'd be kind of neat. Or we'll leave it up here with the forest. I don't know. We'll see. Now, this big tractor may not fit in our little shed. It might, if you back in here. Oops, it hit the wire. You see it? Perfect. All right, so let's go over here. We got about 7 minutes, but I want to get a good look at this. Look at this. That is a nice first field, isn't it? And there's our farm. How cool is that? Like, it's coming along. Then I'm going to run some trees along that edge and along here, along the backside. See? Now, even up here, you really can't see too much through it. It's pretty dense. All right? So that's a good-sized grass field to mow. When we start 26 acres, what did we say it was? Yeah, 25.4. So 26-acre grass field to begin with. Then down there will be our wheat field. It'll probably be another 20-acre field. Or we can make this one wheat and that one grass. I don't know. We'll see. I might just make this one wheat. But it's coming along. Look at that. It's really, really coming along nicely. We've gotten a lot done in the last 9 days, haven't we? And on that note, everyone, I'm going to run you off because I got to head over to Farmer's East Stream real quick. So on that note, please, please, please look out for yourselves, look out for each other, and most importantly, look out for each other's families. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the little notification ding bell so you get notified when Fury drops a video, because I'm all over the place anymore. And please, please, please enjoy the night, the day, the weekend, whenever you're watching this. And just take care of each other and relax and enjoy farm sim videos by Fury Machine Gaming. Head on over, check out Farmer Z. Make sure you check out Mighty Mike Farms. Grizzly Bear Sims, catch up on all his videos. He'll be grateful for that. And on that note, everyone, I'll catch you guys all on the 21st, because I'll play the 20th off camera, and the 21st, I'll catch you all back here. Have a great couple of days, everyone.